everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing more of a chatty, informal video, kind of like a get ready with me, apart from I'm not going anywhere and I'm just getting ready to film another video. Roll with it. In this one I'll just be basically answering some questions that have been asked about, like how I started on my spiritual journey, what got me in spirituality, where I was before, how I am now, all those kind of questions that I keep getting from friends and family. And I'll just be doing my makeup as I go. Before I start, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to see more content on spirituality and self-growth. Now, let's get into the video. Let's start from my childhood. That's a good place to start, right at the beginning. So I was brought up in a Christian household. So I would go to church every Sunday. I did learn quite a lot from it. And being a kid, that's all I knew, because that was all I was taught. My parents were Christians, and my grandparents, and all my family members, they all went to church on Sundays as well. So it was just a regular, normal activity. I've got my mirror down here if you're wondering why I'm looking down. And because my parents were Christians, they never taught us about other ways of life. It was very regimental to the way that our church teaches, which is understandable, because if you're going to a church, you'd probably want to teach your kids the same things that you learn. And I'm not talking about like other religions and things like that, because I learnt about all that stuff in school, about like Judaism and Hinduism and different variations on religious beliefs and gods and goddesses and things like that. So I was quite aware of other religions. I just was never really taught about different ways to practice your said religion. Personally, I think spirituality and like, I wouldn't necessarily say like pagan or like occult lifestyle, I don't think that's the right word, but more like something has always been nagging at me, if you know what I mean. Like as a kid I'd always collect rocks and tree branches. I'd make little potions on the playground with my friends, and even if they weren't there I'd sit there like a little loner and do it myself. And on school trips, when we go to like museums and things, people would always get mini statues of the building or animals. I'd always go for the rocks and the crystals and gemstones and things like that. So it's always been there. I just did it because it looked nice and it made me feel good. Oh, and another major part of my childhood which kind of guided me on more of my practice was my grandma. Some things she did would link into spirituality and some pagan practices. Like every morning she'd pull a card out of a deck. It was kind of like a oracle deck with archangels and just like a word to think about for the day, like prosperity, wealth, friendship, family, things like that. And she'd always pull one every morning, and then say a prayer about it, and then she'll be thinking about that all day and seeing how she can implement that into her day or even her life. If it was something major that she'd been thinking about before and she'd like have pulled the card, it meant, well, to her it meant that it was something really big and she should be focusing more about that in her life, which was pretty cool because I thought that it told the future. Every single day would be a different colour, and she'd light the corresponding candle and she'd wear that coloured ring or clothes with those colours on it only on the days that it corresponded with. And she was very particular about her clothes and her rings and her candles, and they had to be done every day. I don't know if she knew about what each colour represented, as in like its metaphysical properties, but she would always do it like without question. Now I know that you can use that in your spiritual practice, even like past the age of like 11 or 12. I would still be going to church, but at that point I kind of got a mind of my own and I understood myself better. So I kind of realised that some things in the Bible just wouldn't, I don't know, it wouldn't stick with me. Some things just didn't settle right. I didn't understand. That kind of pushed me away from Christianity for a bit. And it was just, I don't know, it was a tough time. It wasn't like I stopped believing in God. It was more of a, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I need to take a step back, process, and restart my journey. And yes, before anyone comes at me, I might do my makeup in a weird order, but you just have to deal with that. After my whole stepping back from like the Bible, essentially, I did fall into like a big mental health drop. Like, my mental health has always been quite bad, but for some reason it just, like, I lost myself. Like, it just went downhill from there. And in that really bad mental health drop, I went back to therapy and I learned about things like meditation, mindfulness, and they really helped. They helped me to learn how to centre and ground myself without me actually knowing what centering or grounding was. When anything got hard, I could take a step back, I could breathe my way through it, I can reason my way through it now. Before, I couldn't even fathom life. Like, once I started on my meditation journey, I started doing more in-depth research on it, and then I learned about things like witchcraft and Wicca and spiritual practitioners and things like that use nature to better themselves, and that was really fascinating to me. So I started researching more about herbalism and crystals and the power of water. It was mind-blowing, and that's what really jump-started my self-care journey. Once I discovered more about grounding and centering, I also started to learn how to use more protection magic, so candles, incense, like sigils, protecting my space and myself, and cleansing my tools, myself, my space, like the fundamentals of my practice. That's when I started to really set boundaries. After I learned how to protect myself and my space and how to get rid of unwanted energies and cleansing, I started to research more on the more like complicated stuff. Not anything too major, because I'm still a beginner myself. So I started to research more on things like sigils and divinations and prophetic dreaming. Let's talk about where I am now. Religiously, I don't know. I think I would class myself more agnostic. I believe in a higher power, that's for sure. I believe something started the earth, and I believe something's keeping it going. I believe someone or something granted us the ability to harness the earth's power and energy from the universe and celestial bodies like the moon to better ourselves and to be able to pass that on and to pass that ability on to our children. I currently I'm just trying to be a better me. Well, that's all I've got for today. After like an hour later, I'm finally done. I might do some more get ready with me's or some more vlog type videos in the future. I'm not sure, I haven't decided yet. But if I get some more questions, then I might do some more chatty videos like this. Don't forget to like this video, comment what else you'd like to see, and subscribe and ding the bell so you never miss an upload. Stay safe, Stay happy, and I love you all. Bye!